car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ravel, and this week I want to feature a Dart here. This is a 68 Dart GSS, Mr. Norm's special. To understand this car, you actually got to go back a year, and also Mr. Norm and his Grand Spalding Dodge dealership, which was a real strong performing dealer in Mopar performance parts, and was real heavy into all of the muscle cars and performance cars of the time. Probably one of the biggest dealers in the country, if not the biggest, as far as stocking and selling performance Mopars. But in '67, the Dart was redesigned into this body style, and at the same time, the Mustang came out, and so did the Camaro. Mr. Norm was a little disappointed that the top engine you can get in the '67 Dart was the 273, and the Barracuda came out at the same time in 3 body styles. But the Dart, just the one body style. And it was pretty much meant to be an economy car, and they really weren't too worried about performance. But Mopar felt that the 273 was plenty in this car. It was a light car, pretty good package. With the Mustang getting the 390, he felt that nothing competed against that, and that Mopar didn't have anything to compete. So he was talking to Dodge about why don't they put a 383 in one of these, and they said that it would not fit. So Mr. Norm, taking the initiative, he had his guys shoehorn a 383 in one of these, and they drove it down to Chrysler headquarters and showed them. Said, look, this can be done. And there were a few parts that were needed and specially manufactured to do this. But when they started dropping, the 383 became an option a few months later in the '67. Before they had the Dart GT, but then they came out with the Dart GTS. And that was the 383 version. The 440 was not available in it. Special exhaust manifolds were needed, and no power steering, no AC. It was a tight fit in there. And it performed pretty well. Easily a 14-second car, and if you tuned it right, you can get a little bit better than that. But it was 280 horsepower because of the restrictive exhaust manifold. And that suited him fine. It's like, all right, well, there's fills a void, but it couldn't compete against the Mustang. And then mid-year, the Camaro became available with the 396, and the 383 just couldn't compete. Now for '68, the 383 got better flowing heads, so it bumped the horsepower up to 300 horsepower with the same manifolds. Mr. Norm saw us like, look, you know, we need to do something. Let's see about dropping the 440 in this thing. The 383 is out there, and we can do a number of parts, but there's a few things that they had to do to facilitate the 440. Same problems though, no power steering and no AC. Mopar refused to build it. They're like, no. So Mr. Norm took it upon himself to build 440 Darts. So if you wanted one of these, a '68 Dart with the 440 in it, the only place you can get it was Mr. Norm's Grand Spalding Dodge, and he built somewhere between 48 to 50 depending on the numbers you read. That one, and every one of them got his special tune. So they were pretty potent cars, and with the right person behind the wheel and get some serious traction, it was capable of 12 seconds. Now all of them came with automatics. There was no manual tranny, and the Dana wouldn't fit. So 8 3/4 rear end only. And it was quite the performer, but real nose heavy, hard to stop, hard to turn. He considered it a drag racing special. He was really interested in going at it against, especially the brand new '68 Nova that came out, and that became available with the 396 also. And so it was trying to compete against that, and he thought the 440 car could do it. So he built a number of these, all automatics and all GSS Darts. Now, if you didn't know, yeah, he took the GTS and he took the T off, took a second S and painted it red and put it in there, but he called it the Grand Spalding Special. That's what GSS meant to him. His marketing was Grand Spalding Special. So I foiled it and painted that emblem red in there to copy exactly what he did. And some of them still had the 383 emblem left on the fender, even though they had 440s, and some didn't. It just depended on whether or not it actually had the emblem there, but it was, most of them started with 383s, so a number of them had that emblem there. But he changed that, and he also changed the emblem on the hood. So Don't know what his pricing was or how, how they really did on the track, but it was quite the car. But same thing, it was a handful to drive on the street in its normal configuration. Now they're very rare. There aren't too many of them out there anymore. And this is the Ravel kit. Revell did an awesome job. They had the 69 kit, and then they backdated it to the 68, and they did the Grand Spalding Special, which I think was really cool. Now, Mopar did offer the 440 engine in the darts in 69, so Mr. Norm didn't have to do that anymore. He could just offer his tune and tweak it a little bit with some performance parts, but in 69 it was available from Mopar that way with a 440 with the same restrictive exhaust manifolds and a lot of the parts. But there was a few mods that Mr. Norm had to do to get the 440 in there, and there was a special motor mount and a couple of mods done to the cross member to get it to fit. But Revell did a great job on this. If you haven't built any of these kits, and there's a number of them actually now, they're great kits. But this one, it's funny because I had no idea what color to paint this thing. And if you're looking at this gold, I just had some Tamiya spray can gold, and I sprayed it on there, and it was just an experiment. I just grabbed this body and I sprayed it, and I'm like, well, if I don't like it, I'll strip it. And it sprayed on pretty well. And then I sprayed the clear on it, and it broke up the gold and gave it a bit more of the metallic that I was looking for. And I was really happy with the way the paint came out on this. And I was a little dumbfounded. I'm like, okay, this is going really well. And it ended up being a build that I built it right out of the box. I really didn't do anything to it, just detailed it up. And it came out really nice. As a matter of fact, I believe I got 1 or 2 Best Paint awards with it. So I was real happy with the paint job that I was just basically playing with. And it's Tamiya spray clear also. I didn't use the automotive clear that I'm using now. But I built this thing right out of the box. Although, if I remember right, those red lines are painted on with my pens. I did white and then did the red on top of it. So they look a little sloppy, as they're one of the first ones I actually painted. But still looks really, really good to me. I had to clean this one up. It was an older build. Not really sure how long ago I built it. 2007, 2008, somewhere right around there. But she's a good looking model. And I really like these darts. I got a couple of them and a few more. And a resin kit to backdate one to a 67. But here's a look at the underside, and I did it as an over-restored car. Which I prefer this look, and the 68 engines are turquoise or Chrysler blue and not red. That happened in 69. And then the really nice automatic tranny is in there. Just a really nice kit. Shocks, the exhaust, these exhaust tips. I really like these exhaust tips, and they're extra on the chrome tree. And it just did a really nice job on these kits. Here's a good shot of the front. And then the Hemi kit is really nice too if you get one of those Hemi darts. I got a console in there. And the stock GTS interior. And then here's the hood. Lift the hood up. This hood's a little hard to get, because these hinges. I get a little nervous taking this hood off. Here we go. Get one side. And once I get one side, it's easy to get the other one. Usually. No, that's here we go. Man, that did not want to come out. But beautiful engine, and all that stuff is right from the kit. I didn't add anything. Had a little issues getting that decal to lay down. But just a great kit. Wonderful kit. And I really enjoyed building these. And I don't remember there being any real fitment issues or any real issues getting it together. But I could just imagine trying to drive this thing back then with a 440 in it. And all these pieces, they're chrome. So if you see one of these Revell kits and you haven't built one and you're a big Mopar guy, you got to have one of these. They're just awesome. But that's this one for this week. And unfortunately, Mr. Norm had passed on us in the past week, and it's been all over Facebook. And one of my Facebook friends and subscriber watcher, Max, recommended that if I had one of these, he'd like to see me do this. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad idea. So thank you for your suggestion, and I appreciate it. And you guys, thanks for tuning in, watching, and subscribing. Really appreciate it, and all your comments. And you guys, you have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you next Saturday.